Let's be real here, The Legend of Korra as a complete series is not nearly as good as Avatar: The Last Airbender. But there is one particular season that consistently lives up to the quality of its predecessor, and its name is Book 4, Balance. I mean, I'm sure everyone has their own reasons for championing one of Korra's previous 3 seasons. Book 1 Air has really great animation, Book 2 Spirits has a lot of positive course corrections as well as the Avatar 1 story, and Book 3 Change has the most amount of throwbacks to The Last Airbender, but in my opinion, Book 4 Balance is where we get the most character development for Avatar Korra, and it's where the series best understands itself. While Avatar Aang's character is that he wants to be an ordinary child, but needs to accept his responsibility as the Avatar, Avatar Korra's character is that she wants to be the Avatar, but doesn't fully understand what that really means. She's impatient, views everything on a surface level, and is at first oblivious to the societal complexities around her, which is a great place to start, but the show keeps passing up numerous opportunities to focus on her character needs and show her overcoming these flaws, so that for the first 3 seasons, the plot is more important than the character. When Korra finally achieves airbending, it's not because of any character growth, it's because the show needs a way for her to win in the final battle. When she loses almost all of her bending powers at the end of Season 1, they're easily given back to her because it was the original intended ending for the series, which I understand, but when the show was renewed for 3 more seasons, this never has any further impact on her character. And when Season 2 tries a similar event where Korra's connection to the Avatar spirit itself is completely severed, it also never really gets addressed in Season 3. Avatar Korra does reach a point where she makes her own decisions and has to deal with the resulting consequences, but what's missing is a confrontation of her character flaws as the main issue of Korra's narrative, in addition to fighting the current villain. A confrontation that is finally present in Book 4 Balance. Previously in Book 3 Change, Avatar Korra was captured by a group of anarchists and injected with poison so as to break the Avatar cycle and rid the world of its authority, through a scene which is yet another example of the series' weird fascination with brutally torturing their female characters. But instead of Korra recovering from it relatively quickly like with the other big traumatic events in the first 2 seasons, this one actually has huge lasting consequences in Season 4, where Korra becomes wheelchair-bound, gets sent into rehab, and is benched from her Avatar duties for about 2 whole years until she secretly heads out on a journey of self-discovery. She cuts her hair, joins an underground fighting ring, and lives in a swamp where she trains with and learns from an elderly Toph Beifong. It's literally Korra alone, and it's awesome. Korra does eventually rejoin the main cast and spends the rest of the season building their defenses against the main villain, but these first few episodes make a lot of really great narrative decisions. By placing Korra's suffering at the beginning of the season instead of during the 11th hour of the final battle, it becomes an ongoing obstacle for her to overcome, and it helps the audience connect with her character more. Her goal isn't just to defeat the bad guy, it's to regain what she lost. And Toph Beifong's mentorship is one that challenges Korra, imploring her to consider the good intentions of previous villains, which also retroactively acknowledges that the Equalist movement from Season 1 was not inherently evil, just co-opted by someone who wanted power. And most importantly, Toph reveals that only Korra can remove the final ounces of poison from her body. The person who needs to solve this problem is not Aang, it is not Tenzin, the Airbenders, or the rest of Team Avatar, rather it is Avatar Korra herself. She desperately wants to become the Avatar again, but what she needs is to confront her issues in order to become a complete Avatar and a complete person. Because of this, Book 4 Balance is about Korra's journey to achieve balance within herself, where the cinematography constantly juxtaposes her against Korra's past appearance, where she learns from her adversaries and steps in to save them instead of letting them die. She doesn't become a fully fledged avatar by mastering all 4 classical elements. She becomes a fully fledged avatar by growing into a more thoughtful, understanding person. Season 4 is where The Legend of Korra delivers the most tangible character arc for its main protagonist, and on top of this, there's a lot more that the season gets right as well. The giant robot battle works really well as a final boss. The fight between Kuvira and the Beifongs is one of the best animated sequences in the entire series. Pairing Bolin up with Varric is genius because it forces Bolin to be more responsible, and Mako's new character design is way more reflective of who he really is. Mako isn't really some attractive cool guy, he's an uptight, no-nonsense stick in the mud. So it makes a lot more sense for him to wear business clothes and comb his hair than wear it spiked and have a red scarf. However, there are a few flaws that are present in Korra's final season, such as how dumb it is that Varric and his assistant Zhu Li end up getting married in the final episode. Like, I will never understand why any woman who is previously mistreated by her boss would ever enter a relationship with him or marry the guy no matter how much he says he's changed. And although I think it's great how the series subverted our expectations for Asami Sato by her not becoming a villain, I also don't understand how she continues to be friends with her ex-boyfriend, her ex's brother, and the girl that he left her for, because the series never bothers to dive into what her character is actually like. You could argue that Korra's friend group is authentic to how teenage friend groups are in real life, or that Asami's personality is that she's supportive and always does the right thing, even when it's detrimental to her. But while I'm sure there is some truth to that, it would be nice if there was an actual episode that fleshed out this stuff and gave her more of an actual personality. Even when we view things from her perspective in Season 4, the focus is still technically on her father rather than Asami herself. I do also really think that The Legend of Korra should have explored the dramatic potential of Korra falling for the girl that she used to be jealous of, or have like an actual sapphic romance within the text of the show. But despite that, Korra and Asami being in a confirmed relationship by the end of the series is honestly a better pairing than Aang and Katara, which kind of feels more like a case of nice guy wish fulfillment when you really think about it. The series finale definitely should have also ended on a kiss scene, but Korrasami being canon is one of the best decisions that the production team ever made. We pop in the biggest bottles when Korra happens tomorrow. So yeah, Book 4 Balance is absolutely the best season in The Legend of Korra. It ends the series on a really high note, it has a better understanding of who their characters are actually like, and it finally gives their main protagonist substantial character development so that the audience can actually see how much she's grown as a person. However, if you think I'm being biased towards Season 4 because it also happens to be my favorite, you've actually got it backwards. I don't say it's the best because it's my favorite, I say it's my favorite because I think it's the best. I know everyone has their own opinions on which one deserves the most amount of praise or which ones deserve more recognition, and I respect that, but in my opinion, the greatest season in The Legend of Korra is Book 4 Balance.